Two Drink Cinema! Cheers.
All right, another episode. This is season 2,
Nice.
episode 2
Okay.
of Two Drink Cinema.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because we did have
It's a lot of choose.
we did have a bit of content that was exclusive to each platform. So we had
Okay.
the podcast where we talked about the Tina documentary,
Yep.
which was podcast only. And then we had our Plan 9 live episode, which has been out on the YouTube.
Right.
If you didn't get
Which
it in
was
the live.
so planned.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely planned.
it wasn't at all technical difficulties.
Nope.
We did have a meeting before the start of season 2. That's
We
what
did.
made the start of season 2. And then despite that planning meeting, the first 2 episodes were wrong.
Yep.
Technical issues. But
Some things you can't plan for.
we have a new bit of studio equipment. And
Yes,
another
it's
bit
this
of
bottle
new...
of vodka.
I thought I was going to say the bottle of Jameson.
Well, no, that's definitely not new. There's not that much left in there.
Oh, is that a new Absolute?
Yeah, it is. For making cocktails.
No brands. If you would like to sponsor us, Absolute,
That'd be great.
get in touch. Find us on the socials
be-
at Two Drink Cinema.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
There you go.
so at the end, if you listened to the Tina podcast, you would have heard at the end that Brett won trivia again
Yep.
in the badly explained movie titles, even though you couldn't get the castle, which I think was the tiebreaker, wasn't it? Anyway,
No. Yeah. I think so.
yeah, but you still won.
Yeah. I got 2. You got none. You didn't get any, I don't think.
Yeah. So Brett assigned me to watch Big Business,
Big.
which is as old as you,
It is.
1988.
And just as funny.
Bette Midler
No,
and
it's
Lily
not.
Tomlin. I learned 2 things in watching this movie about you, brother.
Okay.
One is we talked in the episode about favourite genre.
I am
that
not.
you like the comedy.
I'm not the little angry ranger kid in the movie. That is not me.
No, Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Who I noted his voice seems deeper in that movie than it does now. Because also Shane is replaying the remastered version of Mass Effect on the Xbox. And I'm sure
Okay.
Seth Green voices one of those characters.
Okay.
So I've heard a bit of Seth Green's voice, but then I saw him in the movie and I'm like, oh, that looks like Seth Green, but it didn't
Yeah.
sound like him.
See, I've heard a lot of Seth Green's voice, but not as Seth Green.
Yeah,
Because
as a little
he...
fat animated character.
Yeah. as Chris in Family Guy. Not as Seth Green.
This is our second Seth Green movie.
Yeah. And I forgot he was in it.
He is our most appearing actor of Two Drink Cinema. No
Yes.
other movie we've watched has had a same actor in it.
No.
We've mentioned some movies with the same actors.
Yep.
Because you've mentioned Outrageous Fortune, which has
Yes.
Bette Midler.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that is kind of along the lines of one of the things that I realised about you. You said in the favourite genre episode that you like a comedy. I've realised your subgenre is you like 80s female comedy.
I don't know. I'm not... Yeah. well,
Outrageous
okay,
Fortune is in your top 5 and you've recommended me to watch Big Business.
Yeah, only because I know you've seen Outrageous Fortune.
Yes.
So this is a second option.
And the other thing I realised about you is you love a mix-up from the movies that you've
A mix-up.
assigned me, because Some Like It Hot has this character confused with this character, and you had to keep track of
Right.
who Tony Curtis is being at different points throughout the movie. So
Yeah.
very Shakespearean Big Business in terms of the mistaken identity, not in terms of the
dialogue.
and the quality
No.
of script, but
You no good belly scraping pile of cow plop
Yeah.
is not very Shakespearean.
although Shakespeare had a lot of common language in it and a lot of invented language.
Yeah, like Cow plop.
Cow plop. And then the little kid in the lobby goes, "What's cow plop?" It wasn't Seth Green. What's a cow plop?
What's a cow plop, Mummy?
Even if you grew up in New York, you could know what a cow plop is.
It's shit. Like, you could work it out, unless you're that sheltered.
Yeah, but even in New York, you'd be called cow shit. And she's clearly from the hillbilly country.
Yeah.
So her saying cow plop, it's called using context to work out words.
Yeah. Maybe the kid's just not that smart.
Speaking of clearly from the country, we never know where the town of Jupiter Hollow is. But as soon as you put on that big southern drawl, it's just like, oh, look, this is hillbilly country.
Yeah, they're southerners.
Yeah, it's Hicksville. It's one step away. It's not quite redneck, but it's very clearly a very simple country town just by the accent.
Yeah.
Should I mention something? You've noticed in the YouTube that we're holding up our microphones.
Yeah.
I want to buy stands.
So do I.
So we can just sit there.
I want you to buy stands as well.
The people listening can help us buy stands.
They can.
Is that a segue?
Yeah.
If you go to buymeacoffee.com/2drinkcinema, that's us set up so you can support us. We won't spend the money on coffee.
No, because it's not what this is about.
We'll
That's
spend
not
it
the
on
drinks we're drinking.
drinks and pizza.
Yeah.
And microphone stands.
Yeah.
But if you would like to support us, that's how you can do it. buymeacoffee.com/2drinkcinema. The links is in our bio on Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook at 2drinkcinema.
Or if you see me in the street, you just give me $20.
Yeah, but then I can't track it. And I need to know how much money we've got to buy this mic
If you see me
stands.
in the street and you give me $20, I'll take a selfie of you giving me $20 and then I will send it to Lee to say, hey, and then we can post it on the social medias.
Yeah, and then you get a selfie with Brett from 2 Drink Cinema.
Yeah. Get in now before we're famous.
Yeah, and Brett will...
We have tens of listeners.
If you print it, we're international.
We're in 4 different continents.
Yeah.
We're a big deal.
Yeah, 4 different continents.
Yeah.
Ukraine is...
In
Europe.
Europe.
On the Europe side of the continent. Well,
Yeah.
it's all kind of close. Eastern Europe, almost.
Asia.
Yeah.
But it's
not
not they're
that
in
far.
Eurovision.
They're
so
okay.
they're European. That's
Yeah.
in my mind how I learned geography.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also learned what countries are close to each other by who votes for who. That's how I've learned geography.
Yeah.
Oh, Cyprus, Greece. Oh.
So you can't know exactly where Cyprus is.
No.
You know it's near Greece.
It's near Greece.
Is it an island like Sicily or Malta?
I don't know.
Or is it a country? Not that islands aren't
It's a
countries,
country.
because we're an island country.
That's a good... Hey, Google, is Cyprus a country? No, an island. Fuck.
Wikipedia. Cyprus, officially called the Republic of Cyprus, is an island nation in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. It is the third largest
Thank you,
and
Google.
most populous island in the Mediterranean and is located
Okay,
in
Google.
Turkey.
Thank
All right.
you.
So,
She's happy to help.
it's an island nation. So it's both an island and a country.
She knew where I was going.
Third largest and third most populous in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yes, but this
Okay.
is not a geography podcast, so...
We are talking about big business. We've mentioned a couple of things about it already. Seth Green and the hillbilly hick accent.
I tell you what.
And Brett's love of 80s comedy actresses.
They both
And
have Bette Midler in it.
These two are 2 of the big ones. Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler.
Yeah.
And that was my first note. Pinnacle of comedy actresses.
Ooh.
Which went through a bit of a lull. I don't think I could name a 90s big comedy actress. Yeah.
Sandra Bullock. Nah, too
And
late.
Speed.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
She wasn't funny until Miss Congeniality, which is even
That's
questionable
true.
within itself.
That's
and
true.
then Spy, which is well later.
That's Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, and Sandra Bullock.
No, that's Heat.
Oh, God.
So you need to watch more movies with female comedy duos. I'm telling you.
We'll add that to the list. Female comedy duos. So yeah, Lily Tomlin, And Bette Midler, if you haven't watched it, which you should have, because we told you at the end of the last episode, this is what that we're going to talk about.
Whoopi Goldberg is a 90s comedy.
Sister Act,
actress.
yep.
And Sister Act 2.
And Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I think that's about
And
it.
The View.
The View.
Which was not 90s.
That's just a joke.
Um,
You know how else you knew
I
they
thought
were
you were going to tell me
hillbillies?
another.
No, I can't think of any. You knew they were hillbillies
Yep.
by a Bette Midler song where she's yodeling about kicking people in the crotch while milking a cow. Kick them in their little yodelays.
They did a lot more to really set the hillbilliness than I feel they did for the New Yorkness.
I think you already got that a bit from the opening scene of them, their parents giving birth.
Yeah. Yeah, that they did, and I wrote about that too. It's almost a caricature of rich versus poor.
Well, it is because the woman has the poor woman has her 14th baby or something.
Yeah, and it just pops out.
And then his present to her is a whittled duck. Whittled duck.
And then the present for the rich mum, who has the Louis Vuitton suitcase in the birthing suite.
Yes.
And looks pristine even after she's given birth.
Yeah.
That is a tiara.
Yeah.
Is the birthing gift. Which I thought that was a recent thing.
Tiaras?
80s. No, birthing gifts. Push presents, they're called.
Push presents.
Push presents.
Oh, that's not a... Oh.
It's not a great term.
What if you have a cesarean?
There's still some pushing in a cesarean, I think.
I know, this is
It's not just lie back and we'll slice you open.
Right.
I think.
God.
I know.
Graphic.
Any midwives listening?
Yeah. Wowzers.
Yes, and it is then the excess stuff of they've got all the things in the birthing suite, whereas the poor woman just comes in, pops out a couple of kids, pops out a couple of kids,
Yeah.
gets her whittled duck, and then takes them home.
Yeah. The poor little old nurse. Oh, you knew it as well, the setup of it.
It was so set up when she took the urine sample.
Took the urine, and you just knew it. I was watching it. I've watched it before, obviously, but you don't remember all the details. And just watching it, and he goes, she's making the tray with apple juice on it, and then there's a urine sample. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Oh, yes. Apple juice looks like wee.
It does. If
Classic
it's not healthy
comedy. Well, hydrated wee.
Hydrated wee is water.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Or absolute vodka. Oh, we shouldn't say absolute vodka. They won't sponsor us.
Piss.
We say it looks like wee. But even the doctor, the little parts are good comedy actors.
Yeah.
Like the guy who plays the doctor in that little country hospital is a proper comedy actress, not just some bloke.
Yeah.
The two guys the main guy that plays not the offsider, but the assistant in the office.
One of the gays. Yeah.
He's a real comedy actor.
Yeah.
The receptionist, she's someone who's been in
a lot of stuff. It's the same thing.
Character
actors.
Yeah. So it's a good cast outside of Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler.
Yeah.
What I think what I think they did well was switched the power so that in New York, Bette Midler's in charge.
Oh, yeah.
And in the
Hicksville,
Jupiter Hollow, Lily Tomlin's in charge, which makes sense because that's their natural...
Their habitat.
Yeah. Which is, a bit of a debate into nature versus nurture.
Ooh, yes.
If you're in the nurture side of things, then Lily Tomlin wouldn't be stopping in the park to pick up a stray dog in New York.
No.
And Bette Midler would be quite happy in Jupiter Hollow.
She would be.
Because she'd have grown up there, but nature has taken over.
But her nature is that she wants to be a Joan Collins type New Yorker.
Yes.
Sassy shoulder pads.
Sassy shoulder pads.
Humongous Shoulder pads.
And the scene that shows that Lily Tomlin's really out of it is when the shoulder pad comes down the sleeve and she has to pull it up.
And then she does that in the meeting. And then later on at the end...
The other Lily
Tomlin did the same thing.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like,
there's a lot of those little things. And like we talked about, Some Like It Hot, there's jokes like, you no good... What is that one?
You no good belly scraping pile of cow plop.
Yep. And then there's double entendres, which I've realised you love as well.
What?
Like the one...
That's how you do comedy.
The one
Triple entendres.
The one I wrote down when Bette Midler's talking to the Italian guy.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, I'm going to gouge you on this sale." And he goes, "I'm going to impale you." It's not even a sales term.
I didn't really.
Impale's not even a contractual term. It's just
no.
I'm going to put it in you a lot. It's
like when the mum gives birth, the rich mum gives birth, and the doctor goes, "Don't worry, he's giving her an injection."
Yeah.
He goes, "Don't worry, this should just be a little prick." And then he just goes, "That's how I got into this mess." I'm like, whatever.
So there's obvious jokes like that, but then there's like well written, more subtle jokes.
Gives him the duck, the whittle duck, gives her the duck. She goes, "What should we call them?" And then he goes, "I don't know, it's just a duck."
It's just a duck. But then also like, I didn't even write any down.
Oh, that's good. That was well planned.
Oh no, like, little things that you might not notice, like the dog named Duke. When she finds the dog, she names it Duke, Lily, the city Lily Tomlin, at the start. And then when you first go to Jupiter Hollow, Lily Tomlin's dog is named Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you might not notice in just the going on of the film.
Or Duke.
But it's subtle and well written. Or the little, like when the chauffeur is driving them to the airport and they say, "Make sure you get us there on time, don't get lost." And he says, "I haven't gotten lost since the day you were born." Which throws back throws back to the start of the movie where they got lost and ended up in Jupiter Hollow. And then they end up at the Plaza Hotel, New York's most exciting hotel experience, which I always think of for the Plaza Hotel, thanks to Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Because they use like the same shot of like looking into the window from the outside.
Looking into the home. I think there's the only one way you can shoot the Plaza Hotel. Yeah. Because it's that huge facade.
Yeah.
With the like open in front of it.
But it was interesting in doing the looking into the windows, and they've got the room of course they have the room next door.
Well, because they had to have the exact same room.
And then
it's mirrored.
They're both in the window at the same time. Yeah. Very fancy.
Yeah. Well, that actually they did that well.
Yeah.
Having the 2 to 4 of them in the same scene. There was only probably 1 or 2 times where it was kind of jarringly imposed.
Oh, yeah.
But generally it worked pretty well. For 1988 especially.
88 comedy effects.
Yeah. Because it was probably done real. Like some guy was there with a Stanley knife putting 2 bits of film over each other.
Yeah.
That's what superimposing means.
Yeah.
Super meaning on top of.
Imposing meaning.
If anyone's watching on the YouTube, I'm doing a demonstration of a Stanley knife.
I think people will understand what on top of means.
And whereas when special effects went bad was the late 90s.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phantom Menace.
Yeah, well, not the Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith is the worst. And the redone versions of the Star Wars original trilogy. But that's because computers were the thing. Yeah. And so you did everything on your computer, even though it might not have been as good as doing it real. We've come back around and we've got people like Christopher Nolan now that do as much real as possible. Yes. But we've also got much better technology, so we can superimpose people without a little Stanley knife cutting the negative.
Yeah, or like when it's the live action Lion King, but there's no live action in it at all. It's more animated.
Yes, it's animated live.
Yeah.
Like Andy Serkis playing Gollum.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Andy Serkis's whole career, except for when he joined the Marvel thing.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he was very good in
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, and
No.
which
Oh.
Civil War, Captain America Civil War. I think he
seen
plays the baddie, or Black Panther.
There's another one I've seen him in.
I think he's in Black Panther. I don't know.
Can't remember.
I've seen
Anyway,
25 Marvel
This
movies.
isn't
I
about-
can't keep track of what they are. Seth Green's in it. There's a dog named Duke. Nature versus Nurture. Good comedy cast. I'm just ticking off my notes.
okay, that's good. This is really exciting.
There's subtle, well-written stuff.
That wasn't very well written. How about this, Adley? I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is a frog's ass watertight?
It's so confused, the gay workers.
Because they didn't know what a tight ass was. Oh, no. Shit.
Maybe they didn't know what a frog was.
Oh, I think they know what a frog was. He got his robe from Fire Island, I think it was like.
Oh, yeah, and the other guy was like, oh, you can't say that.
And he's like, you blacks are all right. Rune.
Oh, because...
His name is Rune.
Yeah, country hick name.
It's not even a name.
I can't tell with those two workers that are a gay couple
Yes.
whether they're hiding it or not. Because they walk around the office asking each other where they're going to go for dinner.
Yeah.
But then when the littler foreign one, English one,
Yeah.
says to the big American one, says to Rune, I got this from Fire Island. The big American one looks in like, oh, shut up, you're going to give us away.
It's probably more just worried about what the country hick's going to do.
What Rune thinks.
Yeah.
The country
Even though that
hick.
doesn't even cross his mind. Like, I don't think Rune from Jupiter Hollow is going to know what the hell Fire Island is.
No, he probably doesn't even know what gays are.
I think he knows what guys are.
I don't know. Jupiter Hollow. Is that a thing?
I don't know. It's probably not a real place.
What I
hope it's
liked
not a real place.
as well is that sushi was a fancy meal in the 80s.
It was not just get it for $2 at the shop.
You could only get it at the Plaza Hotel
Yeah.
if you were as rich as Bette Midler, the city version.
Mm.
And then they had it, so you saw the little sign in the background of one of the shots. That's where I first noticed it, and then they went there for dinner. It was like, put a bit more fire under this fish.
Yes.
We use this as bait. With this country hick accent. I did question, though, why Rune was in it. But then as you go through the movie,
Yeah.
it's like him versus the Italian in the Armani suit.
No, the other one.
No, the contrast of boyfriends.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the ex-husband of Bette Midler.
Yeah.
And then there's... Who's the fourth?
The doctor guy of Lily Tomlin.
Oh, the doctor guy, the dad from Family Ties.
Yes. Yeah.
Michael
yeah,
J.
yeah.
Fox's dad.
Yeah.
And
And what movie was Michael J. Fox in?
Back to the Future.
Hey,
thank
everybody
you.
drink. Back to the Future reference.
Yeah, he was a more direct contrast as a boyfriend
Yes.
to the Italian in the Armani suit. But all four of the men were very different.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, all four of the women were very different.
That's true.
Spoiler
But
alert.
I thought it was
Oh, no.
weird at the end
Mhm.
where Rune went with New York City Lily Tomlin and then Hick Lily Tomlin went with the doctor.
No, because at the start,
I don't know. I wouldn't have done that.
at the start,
She didn't really like
Hick
Rune.
Lily Tomlin was just like, I'm not really in love with you. You're just as good as I can get in this town.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas then she meets a doctor who's obviously better than a mini golf Masters champion.
Well, he's not because he never won.
He walked off on the 12th
He
hole.
walked off.
And
But professional putt.
He'll go again next year. They should have got him out to host Holy Moly.
I would love that.
Rune, does he have a last name?
Nope.
No.
Yes.
Rune.
Because they
Host
go
of
through
Holy
his
Moly.
They go through his wallet. The gays go through his wallet.
Oh yeah, and see that he's not a
Ratliff.
which is missing a letter. What the other thing? The most 80s music when she's going around the city. And the saxophone and the trumpets are like...
80s montage.
Yeah. Shoes and taxis and fashion people looking down on her because she's from the country.
And then she yodels with the steel drum band. She's like, I'm in the park. Oh, there's a steel drum band.
And confuses Michael J. Fox's dad. Yeah.
It was very weird. It was just...
Yeah.
I'm like, she's not going to yodel with them. She's going to yodel with them. Oh my gosh, she's going to yodel.
Well, because it's Bette Midler. It's probably in her contract. She has to sing X number of times in the film. Otherwise, how do they sell a contract?
True.
She doesn't. Does she sing an Outrageous Fortune?
No.
In her audition at the start?
No.
She could have. She did release a single. Does Needle Dick the Bug Fucker mean anything to you? That was separate to the movie.
Oh, it was a number one hit.
I've talked about all these things.
What was your favourite scene? Do you have a favourite scene?
I liked the end because the country Bette Midler chose good.
Oh, and she did the Joan Collins.
She did the Joan Collins scene. Yeah.
I owned Carrington Miramax.
Not Miramax.
Was that a dig at it? Maybe. Ooh.
Why? Do you reckon
maybe they were going to make the movie, but they didn't.
Decided not to take the option. Is that what they called it in the biz?
And it made a lot of money? I don't know. Probably didn't.
It was Bette Midler in the late 80s.
Bette Midler in the 80s.
People would have gone to it.
Come on. The gays alone.
Yeah, especially because they put two gays in the film.
Yeah. Representation matters, people.
Is it a good representation?
Not really. I don't know.
But it's not taking the piss out of them.
But it's also doesn't affect the story at all.
Yeah, so isn't that good representation? Just to get serious for a little bit.
Just to go like, yeah, gays exist.
Yeah, they exist. And
they share a room.
Even if they get kimonos from Fire Island, they still like a hot country boy.
Yeah.
That's a real representation.
That is a subculture of gays. Yeah.
All right, I'm happy with that representation.
I think it's just one thing to have it in it and not be like
a thing.
No pun, the butt of the joke.
Yeah. You've made worse jokes than puns than the butt of the joke in this episode. It's not like, these are our gay assistants.
Yeah.
They're just the assistants and
they're not like really like swanny campy gays.
They're not campy.
They're not Richard Simmons.
No.
In it. Or Niles from Frasier. Friends. Wow.
He's not even a gay. He loves the Daphne.
Oh, that's true. He's pretty camp.
He's camp. He's camper than the two gays in this movie.
Yeah. Even the whole. I don't know.
The campus thing in the movie is the way country Lily Tomlin runs.
The campus thing in the movie is Bette Midler yodeling.
True. With the steel drum band in the street.
The way Lily Tomlin runs.
The way country Lily Tomlin runs is different to city Lily Tomlin because she's big arms. She runs like Woody from Toy Story.
And the way she at the start when the Bette Midler is doing her little lay milking a cow, and then it cuts to Lily Tomlin dancing. And it's just like, Lily, can you just dance like
a country bumpkin?
And then you know who I reckon saw that and went, I'm going to dance like that. Taylor Swift. I reckon that's where she got her inspiration from.
Really?
She's so awful. Like, it's just gangly. And,
really?
Like, you can't see this on the podcast. Imagine
I've been dancing for the last minute and a half.
Some sort of Punch and Judy marionette.
Imagine Woody from Toy Story's run as a dance. That's how Lily Tomlin dances. I haven't seen too much of Taylor Swift dance, so I can't comment on that.
We'll leave that there. I could go down the dark hole. She's shit. She can't dance.
That's fine.
Done.
You can say she's shit. She's not going to sponsor our drinks.
Good.
A grapefruit.
Oh, a grapefruit.
And then the other one is like, grapefruit. Oh, grapefruit. Direct contrast. At that point, those couple of scenes, I lost track of which sister was which.
But the hair changed a bit. Bette's hair changed, so it was exactly the same as the other one. You know,
Oh,
in
yeah.
a bit you could see they had different like hairstyles or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they ended like Country Bet got a haircut, so it was
With
the
a
same
new
as-
dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do you think you're meant to lose track of, like, as an audience member, lose track of which is which?
I
'Cause
think maybe.
That first pairing of breakfast, was that a proper pairing?
The first pairing of breakfast
Was
breakfast
grapefruit.
was the two country ones.
Okay.
And the country one needed to go get a new clothes.
Because she deliberately spilt the boysenberry on
Yeah.
there. Yep.
And then Rich Bet came and sat with Country Lily.
Oh, a
And
grapefruit.
then Lily had to leave, and then
And then City Lily came in and had more pancakes.
and then Hicksing came back in with a new suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
did
they
lose
switched
track
up
then.
all the different things.
Yeah. I think that's if it's meant to be that you as an audience member lose track, I think that's good.
I think it just wanted to make you feel like how the staff of the Plaza Hotel felt. Because
Particularly that one that got a black eye.
the poor bloke. Oh, the poor little horny receptionist.
That's another thing horny bellboys. From Some Like It Hot. This one
Actually,
wasn't 13 though.
this actually the same guy.
It's grown up.
He grown up. He
Yeah.
grew up. He
28
grew up.
years later.
He
That's
grew
probably right,
He grew
actually.
up and he went to New York to work at the Plaza Hotel because that's the pinnacle of bellboyness.
Well, if you think about it, if you're a bellboy at a resort in Florida and you're working way up, the goal eventually is to be hotel manager.
Yes.
So if you get to be like on the main desk at the Plaza Hotel in New York, you'd leave Florida in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Especially if you get to serve the likes of Bette Midler. But obviously he's the assistant manager because he's never been above the third floor.
Yeah. And then he gets invited to Bet's room.
Then when he does get to go up to the more than the third floor, he gets a black eye for his troubles.
I just realised a mistake.
What?
Oh, no, because the Italian... You know, there's a scene towards the end where it's like the Italian guy and the hotel manager, creepy bellboy, horny man,
Yeah.
are both going to Bet's room.
Yes.
But I don't know if they are because they're both in the elevator at the same time and they whistle, hey, gonna get lucky, bang, bang.
Yeah. Ding, ding.
The Italian guy gets off and then the other guy stays in
Yeah,
the
no,
thing.
the Italian guy invited Bet to his room.
Oh, that's okay then. Good.
Yeah.
Good continuity, whoever made this movie.
Who did direct you? I don't know.
No, I don't think he did.
I saw the name, but it wasn't a name that I recognised.
You know what my favourite scene was?
The bathroom scene where they all see each other and there's lots of squealing.
Yeah. It's like the big pinnacle, like the...
Squealing, and then it's set up with that the thing down the middle, so that Bet and Bet see each
Yes.
other, and Lily sees Bet, and Lily sees Bet and Bet.
Yeah.
But then Lily doesn't see Lily,
Yeah.
and then Lily sees Lily, and Bet sees two lilies, and Bet sees two lilies, and everyone's screaming. Then all the men come in,
Yeah.
and
And then
everyone's
they all
screaming.
scream. Yeah.
And then security appears.
Yeah, to kick the men out of the toilet.
Yeah, and to find out why there are four women squealing in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel toilets.
Oh. It is a rip-off. Not a rip-off. I'll say a rip-off.
Homage
I don't know if homage or they just made the exact same joke
of what?
of like a Marx Brothers movie.
Oh, I thought you did a Some Like It Hot where the elevator goes up.
No.
The black eye.
No. The
Hotel
whole
manager.
thing, it's like Groucho Marx and one of the other Marx Brothers that doesn't talk
Yeah,
are dressed the exact same.
Harpo.
And then they're at like the thing because he thinks it's a mirror.
Oh,
They
mirror.
think it's a mirror. And then he goes, and then he...
I hate
Yeah.
to break it to you. The Bette Midler and the Marx Brothers are the only ones to make a mirror joke like that.
No, but it's pretty much like the exact same
There's
thing.
only about 12 jokes in cinema.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling a little prick is one of them.
Oh.
The elevator going up and then getting knocked back down is another.
Entendres is the other. Just any
Entendre.
combination of
Single, double, or triple entendre.
entendre.
Is that bathroom scene in the movie game seen it?
Maybe.
Because I feel like I've seen it before.
Right.
And
Maybe.
that could be it.
It could be. Probably.
Anyway. Thought you
Maybe
might know.
it's just like because it's hilarious. Iconic 80s female comedy.
Up there with Outrageous Fortune and 9 to 5 that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Although that's not a duo, that's a trio, so I don't really like that. It's just like a one too many.
It's a duo and a soundtrack.
She does one song.
The song.
That song.
I love that song.
You
9 to
do.
5, but I
Good.
haven't seen the movie. Sorry, Dolly.
Could you imagine anybody else playing Rose and Sadie?
No.
Do you know it wasn't originally intended for Bette
Oh,
Midler?
I knew you'd have something like this for me.
Ooh.
Could you imagine anyone else playing Marty McFly?
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
But no, because I said
Yeah,
in the
no.
thing before that I couldn't
And
picture
could
him as
you
a rapper.
imagine Jeff Goldblum playing Doc?
You know, we've already had this discussion.
Not about Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I think we did.
Jeff Goldblum, I think we talked about
I just don't
Indiana
like
Jones.
I don't like Jeff Goldblum.
Shia LaBeouf's not coming back for Indiana Jones 5.
Oh, that's because he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
That'd be like making Hairspray 2 and being like, oh, Amanda Bynes isn't coming back. Because Amanda Bynes is in like rehab or in a insane asylum.
Yeah, but she's not a cannibal sex abuser like Shia LaBeouf is, allegedly.
No, that's Armie Hammer. Or is it both of them?
No, it's also Shia LaBeouf.
No.
Allegedly
God.
on all that.
I did just watch
segment.
Armie Hammer the other day.
Are you allowed to?
No, I watched it.
Who originally were meant to be those people?
Name another gay icon that
Well, I
acts
just
and
read your
sings.
sheet, so you can say.
Okay. Listener, name. I'll give you 3 seconds. Name it. It's Babs. It's Barbara Streisand.
I'm not sure she's as comedy an actor.
No, not as much as Bette.
You know what
Did you see Meet the Fockers?
Oh yeah, true.
Right.
Um,
That was her. Yeah.
yeah, with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Whenever I think it's terrible, whenever I think Barbara Streisand in a movie, my first thought goes to Mrs. Doubtfire. When they're putting the different faces on Robin Williams, and one of them is like,
Don't
Babs,
tell
and
me
they
not
go-
to live, just sit
Yeah.
and putter. Butter.
can we watch that?
We can watch that. Let's watch that next.
Yeah, all right.
Done.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen
I
and
can-
everybody listening, Mrs. Doubtfire.
I can try do another impression and try and do a Barbara Streisand impression, but like just that one before. But obviously, I think it'll be. I think it'll be my second.
That's an impersonation of Robin Williams' impersonation
Yeah.
of Barbara Streisand.
So it's like Chinese whispers. You lose a little bit.
It's like
every
the
time.
trivia we're going to play, 6 degrees of separation. I think we just call it whispers now. Sorry to any of our Oriental listeners.
I don't think Oriental's better. You can't say better. I don't think it's better.
Can't say, I didn't say any of our listeners from the Far East.
Oh, God. Yeah, and then Lily Tomlin was. I'm trying to get Lily Tomlin was meant to be Goldie Hawn.
I could see Goldie Hawn,
Yeah.
but I actually think I could see Goldie Hawn better as Bette Midler's character.
I couldn't imagine
Except for the
anybody
yodeling.
else. Well, you never know.
True.
Goldie Hawn could have yodeled.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody else playing Lily Tomlin's character. Because it's very Lily
Because of
Tomlin,
their-
airy-fairy.
Yeah. And their lanky run. And,
Ditzy.
yeah.
You can call me annoying, but there's a quote. I didn't write it down though, which is annoying.
Betty, you can call me Al. Is that?
Yeah, Betty,
Yeah.
you can call me. Bet is the original Karen.
Oh yeah.
Like,
City Bet.
I want to speak to your manager, and she acts
And-
with her. I
absolutely.
noticed this bit.
And she's got the hair. That's such a Karen hair too.
She acts with her eyes a lot. She's like, oh, I can't do it. I can't look at myself in the thing doing it because I'm going to make myself laugh. Yeah, it's just like,
I need more eyebrows to be able to do
she
it.
does it with the eyebrows. She didn't have very many eyebrows. She does it with the eyebrows, but then sometimes it's just the eyes. She'd just be like, I'm going to momentarily have crazy eyes.
That's good acting.
it's good acting when you just act with your eyes. And then I thought, oh God, she's going to go be an old witch and then get a
There's
kid.
there's a saying, I can't remember where I heard it, about acting, is the bigger the like the big screen,
No.
you act with your face. The
Right.
small screen you act with your body. And then the stage you act with everything. Because you have to voice,
Right.
you have to overact on the stage.
Yeah.
And then so if you go from stage to TV, you tone it down, and then movie, you tone it down even further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want another thing that I learnt recently about
Bette Midler?
faces and acting on the screen? It's to do with Superbad.
Is it that McLovin is a creep?
McLovin just turned 40.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. That was funny. That was funny. I think I watched the movie once. I was like, yeah, okay, good. I've watched it now. Tick it off that list.
It's very good. Shane and I watched it
McLovin's
again
funny.
recently because I listened to another podcast, another movie podcast, and they talked about Superbad. I should mention them, but my phone's off because I'm trying to save battery. I'll mention them in the show notes.
That's good.
And I'm going to write myself a note about it so I don't forget.
That's the show notes he means. The ones
the
he's
show
writing
notes mine.
during
I'm
the
just
show.
going to put a picture of my notes.
And good luck to everybody who watches
Yeah.
it, because Lee's handwriting is terrible.
Means no one ever's going to copy off me.
And you're going to kick him on the little leg.
So McLovin would have turned 40
Yeah.
recently.
On his fake ID.
On his fake ID. McLovin, yeah, not Fogel.
Yeah, okay.
Michael Cera was his first big thing, being in Superbad.
Yep.
And he was a bit of an unknown, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first few takes of things, they weren't sure if he was actually any good.
Oh, because he was just nervous.
No, because of the way he was kind of acting. He wasn't doing a lot. And then they
Right.
watched the daily thing on the little screen.
Mm.
They're like, well, I don't know. But then when they watched it on the big screen at like the end of the day,
Oh, okay.
they could see all the little facial expressions and the awkward blinks and the eye slants and and realised that this guy's actually really good.
Mm. I'm going to act like Bette Midler in my real life. Just talk when I talk to people. Just to be like, what do you want to know? Thank you. Because you have to act with your eyes a lot because we have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So I have to be like, hey, when you go for a walk in the morning, you're like, morning.
When I serve customers, I have to smile like this.
You have to smize.
Smize.
Well, that's trademarked probably.
So your favourite scene is all the squealing. My favourite scene is at the end when Country Bette decides to be good and not just to become Joan Collins. And she does become Joan Collins when she talks to all the shareholders.
Also, because I was watching, thinking it was weird, because there was a little bit, obviously some transition scenes when they're outside the hotel, and like one bed will go, and then another bed will go.
I love the line that the homeless man says to Roon. He goes, if you stay here long enough, you'll see yourself come out.
Yeah, and then I was just like, that's funny. And then at the end, it's like, a different version of the bum.
Oh, I missed that.
How do you miss that? It was like the dorkiest shot at the end. So then he's just like, they all leave and they all go through various forms of transport.
Yes.
There's a limo and the cab and the horse and walking, however they're getting around. And then it's like a New York tourism ad. This is how you can get around New York.
Yeah.
And then they all leave, and then he's just like, what's going on there? And then the bum is looking, and then this well-dressed guy stands next to him, and it's the clean version of the bum.
The clean version.
Then they both look at the camera like, and then it's just like the end. I'm like, oh god, that's such a dorky ending.
Oh, I can't believe I missed it. Maybe I was tired.
Maybe you were writing one of your notes.
Oh, maybe I was writing good wins, bet sides good. It's my last note.
Good wins, yeah. Good was always going to win. I want a big business too. I want to know what happened to Jupiter Hollow.
Everybody is happy in the end. I want a big business too, to know if Country Bette goes back to Jupiter Hollow. I know she'd stay in New York
with the kid.
She's
got a kid.
Stepmom / auntie to Seth Green.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, no,
Your
weird.
stepmum,
That's a bit creepy.
who's also your auntie, who looks exactly like your mum.
You know what's weird? They all go off with
I was
the
gonna say
4 different men.
Yep.
But during the course of the movie, other than Rich, Bet, and the Italian,
Yep.
the other ones don't really spend that much time together. Except for Lily having dinner with Rune.
Well, that's when she fell in love because Rune realised that Lily didn't belong there.
But then the really only other time that...
The man falls in love with Country Bet because she's the only person ever in the world to discipline the son.
Yeah, okay, that's maybe not a great way to base your relationship on. But it was just like that one impression. That's it. Let's go spend the rest of our lives together.
Yeah. Well, because it's they're twins. So he already fell in love with Bette Midler.
Mm.
This is a slightly better version who can actually discipline the son.
It looks like
So I
her,
may as well
but
be in
with a
love with
better
her.
personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Weird. Still kind of creepy.
Yeah. But
Oh, I can't have you. I'm going to have your twin sister.
Rune with the city Lily makes not much sense.
I don't think so.
City Lily with Rune makes sense, but Rune with City Lily...
Yeah, mainly
doesn't make
because
as much
I
sense.
think that if anybody proposed to me with a ring that had a golf ball on it, I'm not saying yes. I'm sorry. I know, oh, you love putt-putt. No.
No, but when I win the Masters, I'll buy a real one with a real diamond.
How much money do you think you're going to make from the professional putt-putt
It's
Masters?
on ESPN.
Probably the Ocho.
Didn't say ESPN 8 the Ocho, it just said ESPN.
I don't know.
I watched some dodgeball the other night on ESPN 8 the Ocho.
As in
It's
actual
great.
on it. Not
Actual-
wait.
The actual...
You didn't watch the movie.
No.
You watched actual
I
dodgeball
watched
and actual
The American Association of Dodgeball. It's not called the American Association of Dodgeball of America, whatever it is
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
USDA. It's just the US Dodgeball Association
Yes.
of America. And I watched the real one, and it was at a college basketball court
Okay.
somewhere. And it was so
it
not even
frantic?
dodgeball. It had 15 different lines on it. Like, you know, the old our high school
Oh, it's
gym.
just the middle line.
No, like our high school gym where it had the green line is the basketball court, the yellow line is the volleyball court, the blue line is the netball. It just had so many lines on it, and it was a timed version of dodgeball, which obviously is not the case at the when you get to the world level, like in Las Vegas.
Yes. Yeah.
That was just a free for all. It was fun though. And the
I can't believe
commentators,
it. I can't believe it's a thing.
the commentators are right into it. And I've picked my favourite move. I actually think I want to play dodgeball. My favourite move is called a suicide. So there's the line, right?
Okay.
Obviously the
It's
line
not
down
called
the
like
middle.
a kamikaze. It's just
No,
called
it's called a
suicide. Okay.
And what you do, you have a ball, right? And you run, and then you leap over the line onto the other side of the court. And as long as you let go of the ball before you land, it's a fair throw.
But once you've landed,
Landed, you're out. So you throw,
God.
launch, so you get closer, throw at someone, and you have to hit them because it's a suicide. If you don't, someone lost a set on a failed suicide.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, because there was one Canadian
Failed suicide
versus one American, and
That's why it should be called a kamikaze, not a suicide. Because a kamikaze thing is like, I'm going to take out somebody else while I'm killing myself. Suicide is just, I'm killing myself.
I feel like we should have had a trigger warning before this segment.
Yeah, okay, good.
Um,
I don't know.
Stay tuned to next episode when I let you know how the Melbourne Dodgeball Association has accepted my penchant for kamikaze actions. Where we played volleyball, they had beach dodgeball.
Well, I could
tempted.
I could do that, but then it's like a trip over. Oh no, well I didn't trip
The
over.
jumping
playing
in the
sand.
volleyball is okay, but it's the constant running of dodgeball that would have been killer.
Yeah.
Have strong legs though.
Mm.
Any final thoughts on Big Business, other than we want to see Big Business 2, see what happens to Jupiter Hollow and where those 4 oddly connected couples end up?
It's good. It's just a classic, like, this is a story of comedy that has a good ending.
Yeah.
Like, it's very classic comedy.
I reckon City Bet moves to Europe with
Italian.
Fabio to launch an Italian segment of that company, but leaves other Bet in charge of the company back home.
No other Lily. Country Lily.
Country Lily.
No,
Country Bet.
staying. Oh no, City Bet. Country Bet would stay in the city.
And help run the business with the gays. And then both Lilies go back to Jupiter Hollow.
The gays don't really get an ending.
No. Well, we know they're happy.
Yeah, they'll just go to Fire Island again.
Go back to Fire Island. Maybe they'll quit. Because that was traumatic. And they're like, I went to Harvard Business School for this.
No, I'm sticking out a ladies' room.